let's just have a banter and a repartee here, like a couple of people having a good time driving down the PCH or something. You said a minute ago that the intelligence community was opposed to what? The Iraqi invasion or bringing down the towers? Here's John. John B. Wells is with the author of Extreme Prejudice, the terrifying story.
Interesting. Oh, yeah, this show was being censored on live. In fact, they tested it about 10 minutes before the show came on. I didn't think much of it, and I forgot that's even what they did with my pastor, Dr. Gene Scott of the Los Angeles University Cathedral, before they started sending actual secret police, foreign and domestic, Interpol, all kinds of foreign and domestic soldiers, you might say, fencing, secret police. So this is one of the signs of censorship. But in any case, after, let's see.
John B. Wells with the author of Extreme Prejudice, the terrifying story of the Patriot Act and the cover-ups of 9/11 and Iraq. Tonight, all bets are off. The gloves are off. I mean it. I'm not sensationalizing. From the beginning of the preparation for tonight's
Another bit of
program,
censorship technique.
I had a strange, visceral feeling. It wasn't exactly fear. It wasn't exactly excitement. It wasn't exactly anticipation. I think it's rage building from within. You may recall, some time ago, I said, do I think our government perpetrated this act? Not at this time. At this time, I would be very hard put not to think that our government has perpetrated all of this that we have been living under since the 9/11 attacks. I want to get back to Susan Lindauer on Coast to Coast AM. Stand by for 2 minutes.
That's John B. Wells, someone I think is a very good person that's come on the mothership, as he likes to refer to it, coasttocoastam.com, for those of you on computer. Let me see. What?
With Susan Lindauer, former CIA asset, and I'm privy to some very, very interesting things. Susan, let's just have a banter and a repartee here, like a couple of people having a good time driving down the PCH or something. You said a minute ago that the intelligence community was opposed to what? The Iraqi invasion or bringing down the towers?
Well, there was a big intelligence war on Iraq, and trying to get the truth out about 9/11. What a lot of people don't know, and probably won't be surprised by, for example, well, after my arrest on the Patriot Act, the New York Times received 4 confirmations of our 9/11 warnings, in plenty of time to get this out to the 9/11 Commission. The CIA confirmed it, the Defense Intelligence Agency confirmed it, and now realize 2 agencies confirmed the 9/11 warnings, and they thought the 9/11, that the New York Times would do the responsible thing and tell the people, and that they would be able to bring this information to the public. And the New York Times turned around, burned everybody by siding with the Bush administration. And the New York Times then wrote a scathing, hideous article against me, defaming me. If I had not been under indictment, they would have been sued. And I would be a very rich woman right now. I might have even shut down the New York Times for this. But because of the indictment, I couldn't do it. But the New York Times had plenty of time to alert the Manhattan audience to this, and the intelligence community tried to get it out. But the corporate media stalled them. Okay, that's an example of an intelligence war where they're trying to get around, the intelligence community tries to get past the censors, and the stupid bozo clowns in the corporate media, shame, 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 didn't back us up.
Yes, all the news that's it aligned the birdcage with, as it turns out. Now, this is a very indiscreet question, but I'm going to
Anything at all. Go ahead.
Well, how is it you're still alive, my dear? I'm delighted that you are, but you have stirred up an awful lot of dust and people routinely disappeared. Spooky things happen in the spook community, so is it your visibility that has protected you?
Well, let me tell you, extreme prejudice is, as you know, is the parlance for assassination. When I was locked up on Carswell Air Force Base, they couldn't kill me, so they tried to do two other terrible things to me. They argued that I should be forcibly drugged with very high dosages of Haldol, which is worse than Thorazine. It's it's a rhinoceros tranquilizer.
It erases your memory.
It erases your memory. It creates Parkinson's disease. So you cannot walk, you cannot speak, you cannot write, you cannot hold a cup to drink, your hands shake, if you can move them at all. Inmates wet their beds at night, and sometimes worse than that. Some of these women have to be taken to the showers and washed by other bathed, stripped down and bathed by other inmates or guards. It's a very offensive, horrifying life. And they argued in court that they should be able to do that to me. The argument that they use, and people ask me about this all the time, so I'll just jump into it. And you can ask me any questions you want. I'm not embarrassed. They accuse me of being...
Before we run out of time, I want to tell you this. The other good sign or possibility is if things keep going as they're going, I say if, within the next 4 to 5 years, America will be completely independent of oil from other countries, and there'll be a lot of well-paying jobs to get that oil, unless the plan is to use illegal aliens to do the work for pennies, because they don't have any weird ideas about being free or ever having any say in their own lives at all. Besides that, when God on earth tells them what to do, they'll do it to the death. If they don't, other Catholics will kill them. But, okay, they've lost control, the bad boys, and so they've got this law, and they've made treaties with other nations, even before that, they had treaties with other nations to go to war and kill the American public. The UN is training in some of the larger national parks designated as biosphere reserves, and the United Nations doesn't train anywhere in any country that they don't tend to fight. They don't go anywhere they don't tend to fight. They're headquartered in this country. The biosphere reserves of this country are training soldiers to kill us. A Kmart, I believe it was, in Sholo, Arizona, a construction fellow who worked on it said it's built like an oven. It is an oven, gas and brick and whatnot behind the regular fascia. But the other thing is that they want nuclear war to cover their crimes. They have underground cities for themselves. More on the next show, folks. God bless you. Be here on the first of each Friday of each month at 7 p.m.